Welcome to the Drum Shed Podcast, and today we got my mate Luke Jones from Andertons drum department, but also drummer, singer, teacher, student of life, drummer. I said drummer, didn't I? Drummer. What else do you do? And all-round good guy. So, hello, Luke. How are you?
Hello, mate. Thank you very much for the kind words. You're very kind. Yeah, I'm all good. How are you?
Yeah, I'm all right, thanks. It's a bit cooler now, so I'm quite happy.
Yeah, I was going to say, I bet you're warm in that shed. Surely, have you got AC?
No, I haven't got AC. I have two computers. I have my work computer, which is just a laptop, doesn't generate much heat, but the Mac one, the big 23-inch, whatever it is, iMac is a big boy, so I have that turned off. I have one light on, but yeah, it's been a bit difficult for the last couple of days. To be honest, it's also half term, so if it wasn't for half term, I'd be in the house.
Yeah.
But because Mrs. is off, because she's a teacher, I'm kind of banished to the shed. And it's warm.
Just make sure you're drinking plenty of water and staying hydrated. You know, don't want to be like a sweltering dog in that heat. Probably. Just panting you.
I know. Problem is, I can't get excited about playing the drums either, because like if you stay still as slow, you know, if you don't move very much, don't have much turned on, it will stay cool in here. As soon as you start playing the drums,
get sweaty.
The heat won't go. I'll be stuck in here. So. Yeah, that's in the drums are next door, as you probably gathered. Well, you've been here before, so you.
Yeah, I was gonna say it was last time I was there was, I think it was a hot day when I was there, wasn't it? It was boiling. I remember I was sweating loads. We had that little jam. That was.
Yeah, I think we need to get I think I might get AC. Someone's mentioned you can get like a little box. You know, nothing fancy, but yeah. So talking lots of drum stuff as we do in the podcast. But yeah, you must get you around again one day.
Yeah, 100%. Well, I still need to do the Reno project, the renovation. Sorry, on the Olympic kit that needs to be done. So
yeah. Don't mention Renault. I've just come from a Volkswagen.
Renault. I meant Renault.
I know you meant renovation. But yeah, I've just literally come back from a VW meet at Greenwich Park.
How was it? Good. Was it the Beatles and
yeah, Beatles and Vans, and it's a nice little club, and yeah, Archie's still there. He's because we went in two Beatles. He went in his old one, I went in my new one, and it's just really nice for me to see. Like I used to do that in the 90s. I used to go to these clubs and these meets and these festivals and stuff with the Beatles, with Ange and me in our air-cooled Beatles, and now my boy is doing the same in his own air-cooled Beetle.
Yeah, like father, like son. Yeah, it's cool, man. It's really cool that he's doing that stuff.
Yeah, we got to do. So that's another little subject. We were going to talk about renovation. So you've got an Olympic kit, which was a pre-international sizes that you
kindly gifted to me, didn't you? Yeah, sweetheart. Lovely generosity.
Yeah. Be nice to see it back on the road, kind of thing.
I've done a few gigs with it. It's been played it's just not. It's not completely sort of 100% amazing. I mean, it looks good from the stage perspective, as in everything's fine. It's like the hoops and whatnot. But then when you're sort of, from me, I can see all the finish has still got cracks and some holes in it and whatnot. That just need to really kind of give it some TLC, but it's just finding the time, money and effort really to do it. I'm quite an impatient guy, if you haven't guessed or spotted through work. So I just struggle to really sit down with it for an hour or two to actually get it complete. But I need to do it.
I think the thing to do is to get the wrap off first of all, because then it forces you, because then it's like it's not workable.
And then it'll look ugly, and I'll be like, I need to.
You'll be like, you'll just get this horrible circle of wood, this tube of wood. You'll be like, what's this? So then you'll be motivated to get the wrap off. But getting the wrap off, you've got to be a bit careful. So you don't want to tell.
I'm also torn by if I stick to the original Was it? Is that blue swirl? Is that the finish? Is that what you call
So-
it? Set oyster blue swirl or something?
On the Olympic, they were called different things, but on the Premier Olympic drums, I think it was called Blue Silk Pearl.
That's it. That's the one. Blue silk.
And then there was Red Silk Pearl, White Silk Pearl, or Cream Silk Pearl. I don't know what the other one was called, but yeah, I've got the same blue as you on my 60s one, which I bought first for £38 with a snare.
How is it? It's not bad.
No badges, but it had a snare.
Yeah.
It cost me the same again to buy the badges.
Oh, really?
Just the badges, yeah. And then don't think about, obviously the heads you've got to buy, Remo, pre-international heads. But yeah, I've got a red one as well. I've got two actually, but
yeah, your kits are nice, man. You've got a really quite envious of your collection. Actually, you got a few behind you there. What's that, Sona? Is that Sona?
yeah. So behind
You
me,
got the Benny Greb.
I've got the
Beach,
Benny on top, and then I've got the
AQ2
Sona snare, and then there's a Tamburo. Is it Tempo? What are they called? Tamburo. That's Archie's 10-inch snare. And then there's which Migdalia that I interviewed the other day, she looked at the snare behind me and said, "Is that DW?" Well, it kind of is, but it's not.
Oh, is it your one that you made? Or?
Yeah. So Keith Keogh made the shell. So it's not a British drum company, but it's pre that. So that's his maple shell, and then it's sorry guys, you can't, if you're not watching this is a bit, I'll explain. There's this drum behind me, and it's white marine pearl. But it's got PDP 2003 PDP dimple lugs, round ones with the same footprint as the turret lugs for the DW. It's stamped DW inside the lugs, which is cool. And then it's got Premier die-cast hoops from the Cabria, but it's got DW mag.
From what's that? Sorry, from the Cabria.
Yeah, the Premier Cabrias. Some of them came with like die-cast hoops. Some of them didn't.
Okay.
But it's got those. Basically, I bought a Cabria kit with all die-cast hoops. I took all the hoops off, put on the regular hoops, sold the kit for the same price I bought it for, and kept the hoops. Result. And it's got a mag throw and a three-way butt. We all want a three-way butt, don't we?
Three-way butts, man. Three-way butts.
Yeah, and under that,
Seymour butts.
Seymour butts. Yeah, I know that, right? I want to see more butts. No. And underneath that is a Dixon steel drum. Not steel drum, but steel snare drum.
Nice.
Which you can't see. It's just there.
It's a fine collection. You got about 4 more snares than me.
This guy here, Sona Vintage.
Nice.
In white
It's still got the labels on it.
I don't normally take the labels off.
Do you not?
Well,
Why, just in case you want to resell? Or is that?
yeah, this one's pretty new actually, but I don't take the labels off for a while, and then if I do take them off, I keep them so I can
Put them back on.
Most of mine are made by Franza, but this one's made by Muller. If you look at go to your labels if you've got a Sona drum and see who made it. Franza is a very.
Do you know all those guys as well? Your.
I think I've met Franza. I've met Franza. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Sorry, that's way off topic.
It's not really.
No, it's not. But it's
drum,
kind of. It's. Yeah.
Yeah. But anyway, getting back to your drum, your dilemma is whether you should keep the elite, keep it the same color or go for a different finish.
Yeah.
It's up to you, but I would say have the finish you want because it's your kit. If it's not going to be the original finish, it's not the original finish anyway.
Yeah, that's it.
So
I like my reds. There's like a through ST drums. I need to actually contact them to put an order in, to be honest with you. But
I told you to email Colin.
Yeah, I should.
He will Colin at ST Drums or sales at ST Drums. I've got a couple of samples here from ST. I've got this one, which is the.
They're good, aren't they? They look.
Yeah.
That's missed out. What's that? Is that the?
So that it's Totalized Ripple. I think
that's like what's on the Pearl. Is it like the
No.
Is it not?
No, that's the other one. I've got that on my Sorry, guys. I'm just realizing how this is not coming across on a video. On an audio.
You can always edit in post, can't you?
No, don't do too much editing. Don't worry, but I put up with it.
You get what you get.
This one's a bit more casual because I'll treat a little bit more contempt because I know you so well. But I'm just showing Luke the demo, the samples you can get from stdrums.com when you want to buy some rap. This one's Turquoise Ripple, which I think is California Blue when it comes to Sona.
Nice.
Well, that looks cool, a bit more green.
It's really cool. It does look very green, doesn't it?
It looks more green than the California Blue that I'm familiar with, but I think it is it. But I don't know. It's difficult. The other one you've got is the Blue Ice, which is the DW, and yeah, it's called Ice Blue or Blue Ice or something like that. And I've got that on my Beverly kit.
That's it. That one's nice. That's cool.
Yeah, it's lovely.
It's classy.
Anyway, right, okay. Warmed up now. Luke Jones.
Yes.
Let's talk about Luke. So you currently are the department manager for the drum department at Andertons Music in Guildford.
That's it, yeah.
Which I also happen to work at, as I often don't talk about where I work on a Saturday, but I sort of hint I work in a shop. But the reason we know,
big reveal, it's Andertons. There it is.
As if, yeah.
Everybody's sort of anticipating, where does Matt work on a Saturday?
Yeah, and sometimes when I'm doing a morning video, I'm wearing the jumper. And
that's it, yeah. I was going to say, your Saturday morning videos, you're always...
Yeah.
Well, you always... You show your Andertons uniform, don't you? So.
Sometimes, yeah. Yeah. Only my dress uniform, the Smuff one, for special occasions and royal events.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we met each other at Andertons, and unfortunately, because of the way that the rotas work, I don't really get to work with you very often nowadays. But it is nice to catch up at Christmas parties and other events and now and then. But so you've been doing that job. You've been working there for how long now? This is my 4th year of employment there. I've been the department manager. I was figuring this out earlier. It's 18 months. I'm pretty sure I took over it from Rob in September or October. So yeah, it's about 18 months ago. Yeah. Yeah, it's okay. It's good. I enjoy it to a certain degree. But yeah. Yeah, and I mean, it's a very busy shop as a shop because obviously it sells guitars, quite a lot of guitars, keyboards, mics, amps, everything really, percussion, high tech, and all the sort of stuff you'd expect. And it's never, I mean, I only work on a Saturday, but it's never not busy really. It's just, and it surprises me. Yeah. Through the week as well, you'd sort of think on a Monday, a shop would really die down. And it is not to say that we never have quiet days. There are quiet days, but obviously it's very busy a lot of the time. And that's largely due to it's got a huge following, as you know, on YouTube and like social media and whatnot. I think for the guitars on a whole, but yeah, it's a good shop to be. It's a good company to be a part of as a musician for sure. Yeah, it's cool. And the stuff what I love about, I mean, I get a bit energized about on a Saturday morning. I mean, normally wears off about 11, but Saturday morning about 7 o'clock when I'm driving down to work, and I get there about 8ish. I don't need to be there that early, but I tend to get there early. I'm really sort of energized, because what's nice about it is the people that work there, and there's a lovely bunch of people, and they all know about their craft, don't they? They all know their stuff. Yeah. And it's nice for me to go to a place where everyone knows something. Everyone knows. There's always someone at work there that will know about, whatever question comes up. Most of the chances are someone's going to know. Yeah. And I mean, I only mostly stay in the drum department, but it is nice to come down, or people come down and ask you something, and and you're able to advise them and help them. And I think customers are still quite surprised about how much we know or how helpful we are.
Well, I mean, you're one of the more knowledgeable people you're certainly in the drum department, I think. Well, I know. Just in terms of you've got an extensive knowledge of drums, but obviously you've got plenty of tools to your arsenal as well in terms of the high tech side of things, and you're very techy but very knowledgeable. But no, I think that is definitely a benefit of the place. Is, for me as a drummer, for example, I could go up to someone and be like, "Listen, I need help recording drums or whatever. Do you want to work with me to just be someone in the high tech shop floor or whatever? Or I need a bass playing on this track." And it's great that we have a good team that we can actually lean on each other at times, and I think that's great as like I said, as a working musician in the industry. Granted, not highly successful, but it's great that we can sort of network like that within a small space. I think if that makes sense.
There's a lot of talent in there.
Yeah, 100%.
And you see people doing stuff, collaborating with each other, and do stuff. And on that subject, so we'll get to your sort of where you came from, but you're a drummer, but you're a songwriter, a singer, guitarist, play piano or keys.
Yeah,
you can produce. I mean, you've pretty much got the whole set. There's probably more that I don't know as well, and you're Welsh, so obviously you're a great, singer from the choir.
Choir boy singer. I was in a choir at one point. I think I went to like 2 sessions when I was younger, and school choirs and whatnot. But I suppose like multi-instrumentalist, whatever. I don't like to blow my own horn or whatever.
Can you do that? Can you play the horn?
Do you know what? I when I was a kid, it's my mum and dad always bring it up when I was in primary school and I got cornet lessons, and I was trying to play some sort of tune. I just kept on playing the same note, even though I was trying to change notes, so to speak. It was just like it's pretty awful. So no, I can't play any brass instrument, unfortunately. It's more sort of like the contemporary style of music. But a lot of that's just come from writing my own songs, really, and just hands-on getting stuck in. I had piano lessons when I was a kid. I'm sure we'll probably delve into the start of everything in a bit. But always play drums. That's my main instrument, and again, we'll touch on in everything in a little bit more detail. But I kind of went from drumming and concentrating on songwriting for a large bulk sort of my late teens and into early 20s, and then now it's drumming again. That's sort of taking my main focus.
I've noticed in the time that I've known you, that you're definitely more drummy. You're doing the drummy stuff now than you were before. So let's just get to the beginning. So little Luke, then, when did you start? Well, did you start with drums or did you start with piano?
Drums is always Right. I think I started pretty much when I was like 6, 7, something like that. Just on like a small kit that my dad had bought me from Argos or something, one of those very, very early beginner kits. And then through school, like primary school, I remember there was this kid that had said that was also playing drums in school. He was same class as me, and he'd joined the local brass band. And I suppose then I went back and asked my mum if I could join that band, and then I did, and then I kind of just got into actually being a drummer from that, I think. Because that's when I think joining a band, you start to understand music a little bit better, obviously. And then I had a reason to practice then. I had pieces I needed to learn. And then I ended up getting private lessons. And that's when I fished. I'd say I was probably about 7 or 8 at that point. And drumming is just kind of... I was really religiously heavy into it until, like we all were, until late teens. Yeah, for sure.
So what after your Argos kit, what was the first sort of pro or semi-pro?
Yeah, so that the first big kit I got was it was a Session Pro kit. So now I got that for Christmas again. So that was a step up from like the sort of smaller Argos kits. And I had that, I would say I was probably, I don't know, maybe 9, 10. I was only on the Argos kit to like really begin with. Yeah, so that Session Pro kit. And then I bought, that lasted me up until maybe 14, 15. And then I bought with my own money, I bought a Mapix V series kit. Which
What colour?
it was black. It was black, yeah. And I bought that off my drum teacher at the time. Yeah.
Sorry, was that a big one? Was it like 20?
No, it was. I can't remember the size. It would have been, just going off memory. I think it was only a 3-piece.
They did an 8. They did an 8 and an 18. They did an 18, an 8, and a 10, and was it a 12 floor tom or something with an 8? I'm sure I had one, but
I mean, I bought it like second or third hand, so it was. I remember buying it for £100, and yeah, bought it from my drum teacher. Like I said, he'd got it off his mate, sort of as in a deal. And I don't think I bought it complete, to be honest with you. It's like, so it was only like I'm sure it was only a 3-piece. And then I ended up gifting it away a couple of years later. Wow. But yeah, that's when sort of buying that kit. I think my drumming it improved a lot, and I started gigging and whatnot at the age of maybe 14 or so, I think I'd probably say. Which
drummer was it that you would watch? I mean, who would be your sort of inspire? You know me, Benny Greb kind of thing. But who would in your day? Well, you're younger than me, so it might.
I wasn't really sort of clued up on big drummers at that point. I think my inspiration a lot of the time came from the people closest to me. So again, my drum teacher at the time, and then I was where I'm from, North Wales. There's actually a really good music scene there, and at the point of me growing up, like I said, I was in the local brass band, and there was a percussion section of about 4 or 5 of us, and all about similar ages, and they were also some good drummers. So they were the ones that were really sort of inspiring me to be like, I want to get as good as him, or I'd learn something from him that week, and I'd go off and practice it for a week, and then the week later I'd show it to him and be like, that groove you're playing, I could play it now, sort of thing. Do you know what I mean? So that was really what was inspiring me at the time. Yeah, and I think I was sort of just working up the age groups within the brass band, getting inspired by the other drummers, percussionists around me. A lot of them were older than me as well, by a couple of years. But then there was sort of the other lads as well that had left. They were a lot older, so I would have been 14, like I said, and they were sort of 20s, and they were going off to university. Well, they'd been at university and they'd come back and visit, and they were doing the sort of whole gigging stuff. It was a bit of a challenge to try and impress them. They were the people that I and my mates in the band, we all idolized those guys.
It's quite nice, really, if you think about it, because it's a much more traditional and honest and I don't know, old-fashioned way to be inspired by music and the people that are around you, rather than people that you don't know from 100%, Instagram or from social media. That so many people are inspired by these people that they don't know, or and they only see that side that they want to promote all the things. They don't see everything. They don't see the bad stuff. They only see the polished stuff. So for you to be inspired by, a real life musician close by that's doing it, it's probably much more meaningful than being starstruck by a movie star kind of thing, or the equivalent in the drumming world. Like me and Benny.
I mean, I did have inspiration. I'm kind of just reminiscing and thinking back to that now, and I was very inspired by because I was in awe of my drum teacher, my private drum teacher, a guy called Sean Edwards. He was a very good player, very, very nice guy as well. He he was inspired a lot by the Police. So Stuart Copeland, he was big into Foos, so Dave Grohl, and then that got sort of passed down to me as well. I wouldn't say my playing reflects that, so to speak, but I still like Stuart Copeland a lot. I like Dave Grohl as well. But yeah, those sorts of guys I'd listen to. I remember there's sort of be phases in my youth where I was buying sort of the Police CDs and just listening to them in the car with my dad, and just analysing Stuart Copeland's playing, because despite I'm still younger than you, Matt, but I grew up in the time where you had to buy CDs to listen to music and stuff, so there was no Spotify, there's no streaming, or at least I didn't have access to it at that
It might
age.
be Napster. There's probably Napster.
Yeah, possibly. I mean, I remember going back after sort of, whatever. I'd watch YouTube videos and just find of people drumming and whatnot. And yeah, I remember there was the Chad Smith video, isn't there? That I was I loved watching, where he was playing that big octopus kit. I don't know if you've seen it. I can't remember what it was for. It was like, it might have been for his own DVD. Do you know it? Do you know the one?
No, I don't know it.
He's got this big. Is Chad Smith? Was he Pearl at the time? No, I'm probably lying here. I don't know. This is years ago, by the way.
He might have been Pearl, but it was PDP. Is he PDP now, or is he
DW? No, is he DW or is he Ludwig now?
I don't know. He had a PDP snare. I know that much.
Yeah.
But he was probably Pearl. Yeah,
possibly.
I don't know. Watching him, I've not watched him as much as I've heard him.
Yeah, well, that's it. It's Chad Smith. He sort of divides opinion, doesn't he? And at the end of the day, he's got to where he is because he is a good drummer. But I remember watching this video of him, and he had this big octopus like printed on his drum kit. And Flea came in and sort of started jamming with him. Someone is in the comments. If you get comments, they'll know exactly what I'm talking about. That was a video that sort of sticks with me, because I'd sort of go back to it and be like that. And he's a good player, but he was so animated in his playing that he's just very sort of like, I don't know, it's just cool. And I like that he had a personality whilst he was playing.
But okay, I'm now going to do my Chad Smith impersonation.
There he is, yeah.
There it is, red hat backwards.
Nice.
But it's not an MBNA.
You look like Will Ferrell.
Yeah, thanks. I've said MBNA, that's a credit card. I meant MBA or NBA or NFL. It's not one of them. It's just a Coca-Cola hat. Yeah, I like. Well, I used to listen to like the Red Hot Chili Peppers.
Yeah.
Blood Sugar.
Yeah.
Whatever it is. That was kind of, that album was the album for my child. My kind of getting in a car and driving around and going to gigs and Glastonbury and stuff. That was kind of my time. But I loved all that.
Yeah, I mean, they're a great band. They are good. He's a good drummer as well, despite what people. I think he gets a lot of stick from drummers, and
I don't ever hear it. I've not heard anything like that, but I know he's great friends with Steve White.
Is he?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they're great friends. Yeah.
Okay.
Cool. So you're playing then. What's your? Because I haven't seen you play many drumming gigs, and I've seen you doing your singing gigs. We'll get on to, but at the shop when you're going around the kit, like, this is what I find about working at Andertons is, you, other Luke and Sam, like tearing around the kits doing these chops that I just can't do. I mean, I can make the excuse that all the kits are right-handed and there isn't a lefty one, but at the end of the day, that you guys pretty good. And the other day I was working with you on the Sunday, I think it was, or it might have been Saturday, but and you were trying to work out a groove. And again, see, I love that. I admire that. But then I suppose that's down to your education as well. And you've had much more formal education.
Yeah.
So you had a teacher, private teacher, for how long?
I'm just stabbing here. I think I probably started getting private lessons. I was probably about nine up until 16-ish.
Yeah, it's good, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, what's that, 7 years? He's yeah, like, but it wasn't kind of how do I say this? We didn't go into like huge amount of detail of uh like theory or anything like that, or like technique. That was all sort of. I'm not saying I haven't got good theory knowledge. Definitely don't, but I don't really have very good technique either. All right, so I'm not going to self-proclaim that, but yeah, that all came, and like you say, the chops and whatever, that all came like later on when I was like, right, I'm going to sit down and just learn stuff and just play, and yeah. But the lessons were very sort of fundamental. Just teaching me that, grounding, just, I don't say basic grooves either, because I did learn. I wouldn't have been with him for 7 years if I didn't learn stuff.
Yeah. But you learned to read with him.
Yeah, like I said, very basic sort of grooves there. It wasn't anything kind of crazy. No super odd time signatures or anything like that. Or
so what happened between 14 and in your drumming world, between 14 and uni, and when you went to uni?
So it was probably at the age when I was in sixth form, and then I started joining like local bands. At that point, you're hitting your late teens. Being in a brass band isn't cool anymore, and I kind of, so I don't really regret it, but it's one of those that I kind of look back on it. I think I should have kind of stayed, because I really did succumb to, not peer pressure or anything, but like people being like, oh, right, you got a band practice, brass band practice. It wasn't cool band practice tonight instead of coming out or whatever. Do you know what I mean? It was, yeah. And so I gave that up when I was probably about 16-ish. And yeah, so I joined a couple local bands playing, actual band music in inverted commas. And yeah, I was part of a female-led band where it's 3 female singers, and then the sort of me drumming and a couple of mates on guitar and bass as well. And we did quite well within Wales. We won a couple of competitions. We won Song for Wales once, which is quite a good accolade.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, we won Song for Wales. I went down to Cardiff and Swansea. I was on TV, mate. Did a couple of interviews. Yeah.
I thought there was something about you when you're very media trained.
It was cool. Media trained. Very political. No, I'm joking. I'm terrible. So yeah, that was probably, I was 16, 17 when I joined that band, in sixth form. And then at the same time, I was doing music A level in sixth form, and then I was doing music technology, studying as like a part-time college course as well. And in that college course, I met who are now like 2 of my best friends in the world, Geth and Mike, and we formed a band. And that was sort of very two different sort of worlds for me. Whereas I was in this one band, the female-led one, that was Welsh speaking, and I was doing a lot of gigs in the scene Rob Cymraeg, it's called, which is like the Welsh music scene, for Welsh spoken language stuff. And we were doing some really cool stuff that was paying me okay. And then I was in this English speaking band with my mates, and we were like doing the kind of the rough gigs, the local pubs, and kind of, we were going off to Liverpool, we were doing Manchester, and we went around the country doing the horrible ones where you're in the back of a car and lugging everything, throwing everything in the back of your car, and just being like, we travelled down to London once, and we got paid in Monster and energy drinks and pizza, and it was like, that was the best gig I've ever done in my life, So yeah, those sorts of gigs. Yeah, somehow. So yeah, that was very much, they were going on at the same time, so to speak, when I was 16, 17, 18, that point.
Yeah, it's rock and roll, man.
Yeah, it was cool. But the thing is, like, as you can probably testify to it as well, it's memories. I don't remember the gig, so to speak. I remember the journeys there and the laughs I had in the car with my mates, and the rough nights and stuff.
I remember being in an ex-post office van in a really hot day, going up to Cambridge to the Strawberry Fair. We did a festival called Strawberry Fair in Cambridge. I'm sure it was around somewhere in the 90s. Yeah. And it was just like, this is a bit scary actually, because like, we're not really meant to be in the back of this van. We've got no seatbelts. God knows who's driving. And it was just like, yeah, there was. I have no memory of the gig, but I remember being in that van. It's quite funny. I remember a sticker on the window of the car, you know, the orange sticker that said that you could park there. I remember that. And I remember Glastonbury, where we were playing and my kit went first. Like the day before my kit went in with the van, I came up in my Beetle, my old Beetle, and I had to meet some guy in the car park, or sorry, the bass player.
Some guy, yeah, I was gonna say, that's how it sounds a bit suspicious, not like you, Matt.
It was a bit dodgy because, well, it was a while ago. But anyway, so he comes out and then puts these wristbands on us, and we basically get in. But it felt like we were breaking in. I'm like, why are we breaking in to get into the gig that we're playing at? You know, but I don't know. It all felt a bit dodgy. But anyway, we played at the Avalon and stage, and I don't remember much about the gig apart from the tent being really like the place being really busy, and us looking for the TV crew because we were promised Channel 4 was coming, because it was before BBC did it. It was just when, I think it was the first time it was televised, and it was Channel 4.
Yeah.
And the guy was promising, apparently they got lost, they never got to us. We had all these t-shirts made and everything, and it was all a bit disappointing. But
what band was that part of?
I was in a band called Grow. We didn't really grow very much.
Oh, mate, that's a cool gig though. I know you've told me about that one before, but that's
yeah. We had a guy from Tobago, Trinidad, Tobago Trinidad, whatever, who played didgeridoo and percussion. Didn't wear a top or shoes. He looked a bit like Tarzan because he only really
Glastonbury. Then he's just proper right gig for him.
Yeah, dreads and like a loincloth. That's basically what he wore. Nice. And we were a bit like a sort of a cross between a Jamiroquai and, I don't know, Stone Roses, maybe. It was a bit weird. But yeah, so it was quite funky in places. But yeah, that was a great time. But I remember getting my tent robbed. I remember watching the Spin Doctors and thinking they sounded awful until we downed a jug of Scrumpy Jack, and then they sounded brilliant. It's like, we're like, these sound terrible. Can they hear themselves? Probably not. Get some Scrumpy Jack in. I'm loving this band. But, yeah. Anyway, yeah, no, it's nice to have those memories. I think that's
yeah,
that is all part.
That's like I said, that's literally makes up. And that period of my life, like I look back at it with such fondness because I was just so naive, but like so eager and ready to you know, my mate would phone me in the night, be like, we got to get last minute gig tomorrow over in wherever, and I'd be like, yeah, sure, I don't mind, I'll phone in sick to work, like I was only working behind a bar or whatever, but I was like, yeah, you know.
Yeah.
I actually got sacked because of that band. Yeah, it was
yeah,
you know, memories is brilliant. I loved it.
Do you remember Dixon's, the shop Dixon's?
Yeah.
So I used to work for Dixon's, and I did a very similar thing where me and my mate just decided to jump in the car and go to Manchester. And I literally left my house.
Sorry, I thought Dawson's then when you said Dixon's. Was that the tech?
Yeah, like
Maplin.
Yeah. You know, Curry's and Dixon's and PC World, they were all the same company, Dixon's.
Yeah, I remember it. Yeah.
So Dixon's was like the original one, but they sold tellies and hi-fis and whatever you. Yeah. But I was working there, and I decided, my mate said, let's go busking in Manchester at the Corn Exchange and stuff like that, and then try and get into Salford University. I'm like, yeah, cool, let's do it. So I jumped in the Beetle, went and picked him up. As I'm leaving, my mum's saying, Dixon's is on the phone. And I said, what should I tell him? And I won't say what I told him to tell him.
As you say, you're allowed to swear on the pod. It might be a good time, actually.
You can say, I did tell him to fuck off, basically. And I just jumped in my car, and like, these things are weird. I mean, thinking about it now, like freedom, and like, I just drove off to Manchester.
Just without a care in the world. I was exactly the same. It's, yeah. I look back at it, not to get sort of too deep or anything, but I'm very different now, and I'm quite envious, and I kind of I wish I was a little bit more spontaneous, like I was back then. Because it comes to gigs now, and I've kind of got to deliberate whether it's worth it or not. And I think I should have a little bit more. I don't know. I should care less and just say, sure, I'm going to go for it and just do it because I want to, and yeah.
I think that's natural. I think with age and with responsibilities and partners and rent and mortgages and whatever, you can't just, there is that trade-off, I literally just came from this, like I was saying earlier, I came from this meet at Greenwich Park with a bunch of VW enthusiasts, and there's a guy there. If you want to draw what you think a guy should look like who drives an old beaten up Beetle that's lowered to the ground, this guy was this guy. Dreadlocks.
Your didgeridoo player, was he?
It wasn't him though. No, it wasn't him. He's a lot younger, but scruffy check shirt, kind of cool, round glasses, dreads. White guy, dreadlocks, and skinny, and in a Beetle that's low to the ground. It's got different colour panels all over it, but the engine sounds great, and the seats are torn. And it was just like, this was looking back in, like, this is 2026, but it could have been 1996, or 1976, to be honest. I think this still happens, but we have to look at what what responsibilities we have, and it is a trade-off. And if you can get a bit of both, then great. I know it's getting deep, but I think it's important to not lose that. And there's a thing called midlife crisis, and we all probably know that I'm on my 5th. But I think the music side, the drumming, the music, whatever, the creativity is what keeps that spirit alive.
Yeah.
You just have it, it's a slightly different version, it's,
Well, that's it, exactly. That's a good way to think about it, actually. It's just a different version. Because I think that's probably in recent years, that's been my I don't go too deep, but that's been my battle, so to speak, of trying to just find that balance of working, just working it out, because, like you say, bills to pay, full-time work, granted it's in a music shop, but I'm sure you can testify, it does get draining, and you sort of doing the gigs and whatnot, and I'm like, well, is it worth me losing money essentially when I can't? It's it's just that balancing act of trying to figure it out, and I'm still trying to figure it out. But
I think we all are. So you left Wales and you came to university. Did you leave to come to university?
When I was 19, I actually moved to Leeds. Again, there's probably, I don't know if I've ever told you this.
No.
But I moved to Leeds with the band, not the female band, the other band.
Yeah.
The English speaking one, and we were renting a house there. So I was 19 years old, and then just because we kind of thought, we were like, all right, well, the bass player was in university in Leeds at the time, and we were like, well, we were gigging pretty much every weekend, and it was always sort of, it wasn't in Wales, it was always Liverpool, Manchester, like Sheffield, whatever, it'd be those sorts of places, Leeds, and we were like, right, well, bassist is in Leeds, we'll just move there as well, because then it's a better hub to get into gigs and whatever. Again, in hindsight, and it's a wonderful thing, it was the stupidest thing ever, because living with them, it was again a memory. It was fun, but it just didn't work out, and it turned out that we kind of split. The guitarist left the band completely, and we disbanded them after probably 6 months of living there. And then we would, Geff and Mike, my two best friends that I mentioned earlier, we've gone through different versions of the band ever since, just for fun. Then, do you know what I mean? But yeah, that was kind of the catalyst for when it all sort of stopped. But because of that, I'd kind of, that was probably the first time I stopped drumming consistently for, well, ever since I started. I kind of just stopped playing for a couple of months because I'd lost the band. I was a bit like, well, I didn't know what to do with myself. I knew I still wanted to be involved in music, but that's when I taught myself guitar then, because I was like, well, if I'm not drumming for someone, I want to write my own music, and I'm just going to do everything. And then that way it's my way, and you know, I call the shots. So that's why I started writing songs, is because I left that band, or the band broke up. I didn't leave it, but it just kind of, it fell to pieces. So yeah, that's where that journey started. Taught myself guitar, just through YouTube and books and playing, and I relentlessly played guitar then for months. And then I just started releasing my own music.
Just like that.
Yeah, I sort of made contacts in terms of producers through the band. So I messaged the producer we used, and I was like, listen, I've started writing my own songs now. Chap called Russ Hayes, lovely guy, very good producer as well. And I said, like, I'm writing my own stuff now. Do you want to record it? Here's a demo. I'd made demos, and he was like, yeah, sounds good. And I recorded 2 songs with him, released them on Spotify, and they got quite a good reaction, as you know, relative to me. And yeah, I kind of, from then on, I was like, okay, I guess I'm a singer-songwriter now. And that kind of took over.
So did that get you? So how did you get to Guildford?
So, I moved to Guildford when I was 21. So, at this point I was still 19. And it was, I don't know, it would have been like, I don't even know what time of year it was, but they weren't taking applications. Like, the applications for Guildford for ACM had closed or whatever. So I was like, okay, I'll apply next year. So I had to wait a year at home, and then it was COVID. So COVID had happened, and in this 2-year period, I'd kind of released and written more songs and whatever. And I remember I was working in kitchens. Like, I was part-time work. I was a chef, so to speak, a cook. And then there was a moment where I was a bit like, I don't know if I actually do want to go to university or not, because I know the music universities, I don't want to sort of discourage anybody, but it's a bit like, so at the time I thought it was very pointless, because I was like, if I want to do music, I can just do it. Like, who needs a degree to tell me if I can write songs or not, or play drums or whatever? But I decided, when I was working in the kitchen, I was like, listen, like, I've got to get out of this, so I've got to move away. And ACM and Guildford was my way out, essentially. And then, like I said, yeah, COVID hit, so I had to wait. It got postponed again, and I was like, I'm 21. Yeah, I'm not 18 anymore. I was really worried about being older than all the rest of the students. But I remember speaking to my parents, and they were like, just do it. Like, if you don't do it now, you're never going to do it, sort of thing. So I applied, got in, and I just moved out. I was rambling there.
No, I think that's really, like, the whole age thing. There's this pressure that if you don't follow, like, A levels or BTECs or whatever, and then if you don't do that immediately, you don't go to university after that, then just give up and go and work full time in a bank and hate your life. Yeah. No offense to anyone that works in the bank. If you can find a bank these days, that's probably quite rare.
They're all closed, aren't they? It's all online. It's all on mobile banking.
Yeah, but just that's a 90s approach, I suppose. And so it was always like jobs in offices and banks and things. But I think the not being put off and continuing to do it later, because I mean, Arch is in a similar position. He's about a year behind the norm, only because of the way that his A levels turned out and stuff. But and then he started a degree which he didn't like, and then he left, and now he's doing a degree that he does like.
Yeah.
So he's kind of a little bit later. He's still, he's in his first year. He's 20. And there will be people there that are younger than him, but there's also quite a few people there that are older than him as well. So he said there's some even almost as old as me, apparently. Yeah. Which is
that's the point I was going to make. I met my girlfriend, who I'm still with, and she's a She's only a year younger than me, but we've spoken about it obviously, and that was something that she was quite worried about at the time as well. And yeah, just thinking back to university, there were people that were, well, there was one chap I remember. He must have been in his 40s whilst he was there.
Wow, that old.
And yeah. And it's there was a lot of mature students, and I definitely wasn't. I wasn't mature. Like I was 21. I look back and I'm only 27 now, but I was 21 back then. And I think I was young. I didn't have anything to worry about.
No.
But that's obviously the benefit of hindsight, isn't it? It's
yeah. No,
wonderful thing.
Unfortunately, as a parent, you try to explain things like to say, look, because regret is quite, it's quite well known in this house, and that I try to say, look, you've got literally, it's 5 minutes of your life. This is, the next 2 years or 3 years for doing a degree is 5 minutes, and just it will probably benefit you in the future. Even if you don't do music, it will benefit you, because if you come out with a degree, you'll be in a better position to apply for other jobs. Now, I don't want to agree with degrees. I don't want to conform in that way. But I just think, from looking down the line, that if I'd have done things like that, I might have had a different opportunity, So I think it's about opportunity. You can make opportunities, and you don't have to. There are those exceptions and that, but I think it's hard enough as it is to make it anywhere in any kind of job. So why make it harder for yourself if you've got the ability and the support and the time, or I know the funding is another issue, then do it.
100%. Yeah.
So
it's yeah. Sorry, I was just gonna say it's definitely the best decision I've made. I call Guildford my home now. Really, I've been here ever since, and yeah, I love it. I loved my university experience. It's great.
So you went to ACM, in Guildford, and you did drums.
No, I did songwriting.
Okay.
Yeah. So this is like,
I know that.
There's a lot you don't know about me. This is the thing. So ever since I'd left, again, that's why I sort of went on that backstory of since leaving Leeds with the band, I hadn't really touched drums. I'd only used it in a songwriting sense, in terms of I was in the studio and I needed to put drums on my own tracks, or if someone was like, "Can you come and play for me?" And that's kind of where I was in my drumming career for years, up until recently. Like it was very much, I was using it as a songwriting tool. So drums very much took back seat, and moved to Guildford, was doing songwriting. It was actually quite weird because people there would I made my eyes. You came and watched me play with my own band as me singing. And I've got a couple of drummers that I used to use, and both of them were like, "I never saw you in lectures, man. Like, why did you never turn up?" And I was like, "I was in every class." And they're like, "You weren't on my course." And these are drummers, and they all thought I was doing the drum course and just never turned up to lectures, because there was this weird thing where people were like, "Oh, this guy plays drums," but
never seen
where, and I so yeah, everybody's shocked that I actually didn't do the drum course. Is that slight waffle there?
I thought that the reason, because you're pretty like, I'm pretty impressed with what I've seen you do on the kit. So I thought that you got that from, from uni.
So honestly, I have this conversation with Sam in the drum department. I don't those chops and the flashy stuff and whatever you see, that all came from when I was 16. Like, I haven't really learned much since.
Right.
So yeah, which is bad. And I do really need to practice more. I mean, in university, that was one of the benefits of it. It did give me freedom to be able to book out session rooms, and I would go and play drums there. But that was more towards the end of sort of second year.
Yeah.
After I started working at Andertons, actually, because I got the job at Andertons in my second year of university, and I was like, okay, this is drums again. This is where that kind of started snowballing a little bit. Started playing a little bit more. Yeah.
So did you do the was it a 2-year degree?
It was a 2-year degree. Yeah, a 2-year degree, songwriting. Well, it's technically called creative artistry, I think.
Okay.
So I've got a degree in songwriting essentially.
And what do you think you got most out of the degree? Was it the bit of paper that says you got a degree? Was it the friends that you made, or the contacts, or the lifestyle? You know, what do you think you got the most? And you could say at this point you met your girlfriend, and that would be the right thing.
Yeah. No, well,
aside from that
that is the honest answer. I met the love of my life. Just because she's in the next room, and if I don't say that, then she's gonna question it. But no, it gave me, well, it's life experience, obviously, and it's meeting people and networking. But it also just gave me loads of freedom. That's what I needed a lot, because like I've touched on before going to university, I was working. I had to work and balance alongside, you know, it's in order to fund drums and whatever it might have been. I had to work. You know, it was bars and it was kitchens and all that stuff, which I didn't like. So moving to university, I got a student loan, and then I was able to, you know, I was living off that, as everybody does. You know, it's not pulling up trees with that, but that was my mindset. I was like, well, I've got 2 years of student loan, and I can live off that, and I'm just going to put as much into music on a whole, which I did. I really, really soaked that, and I improved so much in my musicianship in that period, because I didn't stop really. I put a lot of in, but it wasn't so much through the university. It was me, and using my own efforts to be like, well, I'm going to chase this lecturer, and I'm going to be saying like, I want this from you. Who do I speak to? Yada yada, so forth. You know what I mean? I was really throughout school. I was always a bit of a. I wasn't very academic. I didn't try very hard. I just didn't enjoy it really. At university, I was like, okay, I'm not going to be like that. I'm going to actually be a bit of a tryhard. I'm going to be very pushy, and I'm glad I did, because I
think in what I found from, I mean, I haven't been to university. I mean, I've been in a university, but I never went to university. And with my boy, obviously, I've been a bit more experienced in what he's been doing, but only through his eyes, not through me. What I've noticed, and what Arch has always said, or not said, but I've seen, he's been quite often let down by schools, universities, colleges. There's an element of you're being left alone. You're being treated like adults. I get the thing about, you know, when you're at school, you're treated like a kid, like primary school and whatever and maybe secondary school. But when you're in college and uni, you're treated like an adult, which I don't think being treated like an adult means being left to get on with it all by yourself without any support. I think sometimes it comes across like that's what it means. And I think in Archie's experience, he's felt there's not enough support or interest or communication from the teachers. And I've been trying to say to him, well, I think it is also down to you to get it, you know. And I maybe you shouldn't have to, but I think your attitude about, you know, I'm here, I want to make the most of it, so I'm gonna put the extra effort in, speak to the lecturers and get more out of it. And I know it sounds corny, but the more you put in, the more you get out. You know?
Well, that's 100%. So my first year was sort of riddled with COVID. It was all online pretty much, so I didn't really get any FaceTime with teachers. Although it was Zoom time. So second year, I was sort of like, yeah, I'm gonna really, you know, pass on, knuckle down, and really push these guys. And there were two lecturers that I did that with, a chap called Ben Scott and Tim Hawes, who are both really, really good. And because I'd sort of approached them and been very hands-on, and, you know, they saw that I was trying really hard, they also gave me quite a lot back. Yeah. So it is very much that. And you're right in your point of you shouldn't really have to go and chase it. But as soon as they saw that I was really putting a lot of effort in, they started then, you know, putting a lot of time, and they'd check up on me even outside of university. They'd email me and be like, what have you got going on? Make sure you're still doing this, yada, yada. so on and so forth. And they still teach at the ACM, and I bump into them in the streets now, and I'll always have a good chat with them, and because I built a good relationship with them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think Archie came home with a story last week when they were talking about sampling, because he's not doing drums, he's doing audio production.
Yeah.
And there were I think one of the questions was like, give us another way of sampling, or an earlier, in the old days of a way of sampling. And he came up with like the Amiga or something. And like apparently the teacher was like, what? About, like, he was so impressed that he knew about this.
Yeah.
Like, and no one else in the class knew what they were talking about, but this teacher was like, because he's probably more my age, and Archer's got a bit of a retro kind of vibe about him, and he knows some of his old things, and he's heard me, me talking about things like, the S1000 and the Amigas and Ataris and stuff, but
well, that's it, though, isn't it? It's like, as if you're a teacher, you kind of thrive off that, don't you? You want your students to really
love it,
to enjoy it, and they want to learn.
Where you are right now, so you've released stuff on Spotify, your own music, and your session drumming as well. So we'll get just to find out a little bit about how that works for you.
Yeah.
Where do you see yourself now? Obviously, you're the manager for the drum department
at
Andertons, which is, one of the biggest music shops in the land.
Yeah.
And with a massive following, like you said. And by the way, there was a younger version of you that popped up on my feed the other day.
Oh, was it? Yeah.
The TV.
I get that quite a bit. Yeah. So Leah, my girlfriend, she's been seeing that everywhere.
It's come up recently on Facebook. You doing the TD.
The TD02.
O2. Yeah, the Roland TD02 Andertons channel thing. Who was it? Who are you doing that with? Who was that with?
I think it's Kat Myers.
Right.
Who she's played for some cool bands that I can't remember. But she was cool. She was cool. Yeah, that one, I don't like doing that stuff. I'm not gonna lie. I don't like.
Well, I know you, so I know you don't like doing it, but it doesn't necessarily show. But who've on those ones? Just come on that for a minute. Have you done? I haven't seen all of them, I'm sure, but have you done many with like other people, like other guests that have come in?
Yeah. Who have I? So Stephen Asamoah, is it Dua? Is it Dua?
Yeah.
Is that
Dua? Yeah.
A brilliant drummer. He was a lovely guy as well.
He's a lovely guy.
He's probably my favourite guest that I've presented.
When did he come in?
It must have been about he did the Zildjian Alchemy kit.
Yeah.
And he was brilliant, man. He was so cool. I loved watching him. But when you watch a player and you think like, wow, this guy's like, I was sat right next to him, and he was phenomenal. I was blown away. He's brilliant.
I hung out with him for 2 days at the Tama gig, the Tama 50th, and they, Archie was doing the photos, and I was hanging out with Stephen and all the other artists like Jerry Stacey and Beanie and what was that guy, Billy Cobham? Heard of him? Yeah, he was there. But yeah, there was a lot of and Pete Riley. I've forgotten his name.
Pete Riley's a drummer. He's
not Pete Riley. Level 42.
I don't know.
Oh, that's embarrassing. I have to cut that in. P-Bub, what's he called?
Do you want me to Google it?
Oh, quick. It doesn't matter. But anyway, Stephen was great. In fact, we talked to him at the UK Drum Show about coming in on here. So I wanted to get him in.
Yeah, he'd be a great guest for you, man. He's cool.
He is a monster player, and he plays like his personality.
Yeah.
He's really like lively, isn't he?
Yeah.
And his playing is lively.
I I watched him play, and like I said, I was sat right next to him. And he came in and we set up the kit for him and everything, and he was like scrolling backing tracks, like songs to play, drumless tracks, through YouTube, and he found one on the spot. He was like, "I'll just choose this one," and then he listened to it without playing anything. He listened to it through the big speakers once through, and then said to Taylor, the video guy, and was like, "Yeah, I'm good for a take." And then he just played it, and he played it like, and I mean, there was no faults. That it was spot on. No, I was like, "Oh my god, this is crazy what he's doing." And this is like the drum intro, and he was like, "Yeah, that's cool. I'll do another one though, just so like if you need to make cuts and stuff." And then he played it again perfectly until he got up to about the mid eight, and he messed up, and he sort of lost his place a little bit. But then he just fed into his mistake, and he started this groove that it was, and he made it work. And I was just like, I think you can see it in the video if it's up on YouTube. I was like, oh my god, like this guy's nuts. It was one of the coolest drumming things I've seen live in my life, because that's when I realized, like I said, I was like, okay, there's levels to this game, and I was like, I need to put a lot more time and effort in, because he's crazy. Like it was an eye opener.
Yeah, there are definitely levels to this game. That's up on YouTube, is it?
Yeah, it should be. Yeah, if you look at the Andertons drum channel, the Zil.
Yeah, I've heard of it.
Yeah. Well, for the fans,
Yeah. No, do you know what? I didn't. It was quite funny when I started working there. I didn't realize how big the channel was until because most of it is obviously the guitar.
Yeah.
But
that's one of my sort of everlong battles, is trying to be a little bit more. Well, a lot more proactive with the drum content and the general sort of upload schedule of drum stuff. But that's
yeah, I know it's a difficult one. I mean, I'm sure the people that are listening to this podcast would like to see a lot more drummy stuff in general, but as much as we can get, because there's never enough,
No, of course.
So yeah, so Stephen Asamoah. But where we were going that was an interlude about the Andertons channel, because I just remember seeing this young young Luke without the moustache, I think.
The moustache, yeah.
And we were talking about your solo career. So where are you? Are you still focusing on the song on the
no? So right now it's. I'm very bipolar with this stuff. Yeah, so bipolar. So is it bipolar? Sorry, back to drumming. That's kind of taken my priority again at the moment, and I kind of hit a realization. You'd probably it was at the start of this year where I was like, okay, I'm a drummer. I've like I said to you earlier, I've been doing this since I was young. 6, whatever it was, and then even when through my songwriting, my songs would always start with drums, and I'd be like, that's my foundation for everything, and I'm writing a song on top of that sort of thing. I know it changed, obviously, but yeah, I that also came from honestly a lack of confidence in singing like live. I get like terrible stage fright, and it was where I'd just make myself sick for weeks in the build up, knowing I've got this gig coming up, and I'd be like, I can't, and I'd be awful before it. And I love writing songs, and I love the whole process for it, but it's studio work to me, and that's a creative act that I enjoy as sort of like a hobby, whereas okay, yeah, I'm a drummer, drumming's my thing. That's got to be my priority again. So that's where I'm at now, and I've been doing a lot more drumming stuff, which is good.
Are you doing sessions for other people, or is that are you doing your own stuff still?
No, so I haven't actually recorded anything for myself for a long time now. But yeah, sessions for other people. One of my best friend in the world. This sounds a bit childish saying it like that, but my best mate is he's got his own studio in Hackney, and he's constantly got sort of like acts that come in and wanted to record, so I'm kind of like his go-to guy. So I've done a lot of work for him, just if he needs a drummer, I'll hop in on sessions and play along to various acts and whatnot. And then also just doing live stuff for 2 acts. Lonely Oceans, the name of the band, which are nice sort of like folk indie poppy stuff. Which is quite a nice gig because it's very chilled, but good music. And then Cam, who we work with, like I was going back to my other point, he does some live stuff as well, Lamonics. So that's cool. That's kind of the session-y stuff I've been doing. And then, just balancing that with function work, which is good money.
Yeah. I mean, the sad thing is Cam's leaving tomorrow, isn't he?
He is, yes, it's his last day tomorrow.
Tomorrow is his last day.
That's him, yeah.
And I've missed his I miss his drinks on Sunday. I miss that one. Which is a sad thing, because a lot of people do go through and stuff does turn over because of the age and all that. But yeah, but you'll still work with him on. Yeah,
so he says that he wants to carry on doing his band stuff, and he's good. Like he's good. He writes some really good stuff. Yeah. Because like I said to you earlier, it's kind of one of those where I wouldn't say yes to these things now unless I'm not expecting loads from it, but I want to be able to turn up and actually enjoy the songs that I'm playing, and it's, I wouldn't say yes to it. And if one, I didn't like the guy, or two, it wasn't something I believed in. And I've got no problem like going, and we've done a few gigs with him now, and I've got no problem like lugging my gear around London to play a gig for him because I like it. It's that's one of those things that's, I don't know.
Have you got any gigs coming up?
Gigs, I haven't got any of those fun gigs. I've got a couple wedding gigs,
right, okay.
Which aren't open to the public, unfortunately. But I think I've got some with Lonely Oceans in June. Is it June next month? Yeah,
it is. Yeah,
we got two next month in London. I'll message you and let you know where they are. I can't remember off the top of my head.
Okay, are they in London? Do you think?
Yeah, they'll probably be in London.
Yeah, cool. Okay, well, it's always. I mean, I try to get out as much as I can to go to these things, which is again, like for me in my age and my time, it's kind of like it's like a new phase really. What with going out with Arch and going out to see people that I know from work, from the shop, and not from my other job. There's not many people in my other job play music. But yeah, it's nice to get out and come up and see. And I've seen you play at Guildford, and at the Boiler Room.
Yeah.
So if there's any gigs coming up for that, then we'll come along to see those. But obviously, I'll talk to you regularly anyway. Are you available for sessions?
Yeah.
Are you so just to promote yourself if you wish to? If you want to tell us a way of people getting in touch with you, if you want to do sessions, we'll say it now, and then I'll put it in the notes on the show as well.
Yeah.
If
in touch. As you know, me, Matt, like, I think I love what really gets. I love studio work. So like studio sessions always available. Always, you're probably going to get a yes from me as long as I'm free. So if anybody did want to get in contact, it's in Instagram's probably the best. LVKE Jones with 2 S's, I think is my Instagram. So it's Luke Jones with a V instead of a U and 2 S's at the end. So yeah, that's probably the best way. I mean, if it is gigs or whatever, I'll always consider a gig. But yeah, like I said, studio work is what I love.
Yeah, I like the fact that you're LVKE Jones with 2 S's. It's kind of like, it looks like Luke, but it's Levuk.
Yeah, that's it. I used to get people back home used to always take the mick out of me because of it, but I don't know. I've had it literally since I was whenever I first started Instagram, and it's just stuck. And people know now that it's me that's got a V instead of a U. I don't know.
It's your little it's your thing. It's a trademark. Yeah, it's a trademark. Yeah. Cool. Okay. Well, where I think are we at the end? Are we done, or is there something we missed something?
I mean, I've had a pretty long life, Mum. So there's definitely some bits there that's
27 years.
But yeah, I mean, that's kind of covered the fun, if you call it fun, the interesting bits maybe.
Yeah.
Unless there's any other questions, you're the host.
I think it's just really nice to have a normal chat and find out a bit more about people. Did you get any grades, by the way? I didn't ask you that.
What, like grades on drums?
Yeah. Did you
No, I never did grades. No.
No.
I didn't. Yeah. I Actually, I remember asking my drum teacher, should I do grades? That's probably a bit of bad advice. Maybe, I don't know. It depends on your outlook on grades. He was like, "Nah, grades on drums don't matter. Just playing bands and stuff." So that was very much like my goals. Really, I wasn't keen like first on getting grades.
Well, that's the thing that you've also taught, haven't you?
Yeah. Only
Yeah.
privately, like
Yeah.
yeah.
But so, like, you know, I was told before that, like, maybe if you're in a school, that you would need to have certain grades.
Yeah.
And there's a different opinion about it, about whether you can play to the level of grade 8 or whether you've actually done grade 8 or grade, 1, 2, 3, 4, whatever. And I just didn't know how important. I mean, we talk about it. It's always something I ask, because when customers come into the shop and ask me about, or they're doing their grades, or they're just starting, and I say they're going to do their grades. I've not done a single grade in my life, but Archie got to 6, and he's going to do 8. He's just trying to work out someone to teach him 8.
Yeah.
And he wants to do it, so he's got it.
Yeah.
Just like collecting that little badge to say you've done it, but also a bit of focus for him to sort of. So if in the future, if he wanted to teach somebody grade 8, he would feel better knowing that he's done it
himself. 100%. I get that completely. It's definitely a great tool to have, and it's something you should brag about on your CV for sure. Maybe it's something I should pursue, but it's never one of those things that I was ever really fussed about. I was a bit like, it doesn't matter, which I don't know. But I think that's very much the character and the scene I was in as well. It was bands, and that was it. Yeah. It didn't matter. I didn't need a grade for what I wanted to do and what I was doing. Whereas I know drummers that have done it, and that's the sort of avenue they've gone down. And
I suppose it's like any kind of qualification. Sometimes it's a requirement to get a job. Whether it should be or not is another thing. Yeah. But if that's an essential criteria, must have grade 8 to do this job, and you think, oh crap, I can do everything, but I don't have a grade 8. You can't just go out and buy a grade 8, and you've got to have the grade 8. So I don't know if there are many jobs that say must have grade 8, but I guess if you've got time and the facility, and you've got the brain is open for business, then, because my brain's closed for business right now, when it comes to grade 8, it's closed for business when it comes to learning like grade 8.
You're too hard on yourself. But you can do it.
But yours and Archie's brains, like younger brains, they're open to receive more info. So I think that if I'm not saying you should do it, but I would like him to do it. And I'm not a pushy dad. It's not like I'm like a football standing at the side of the pitch shouting at him to do better. It's not at all. But I do think it's a good, if you get as much as you can, because it's a competitive world, I guess. And and if you're going out to battle, you need as much armory as much ammo, I should say, as possible. And if that's part of your ammo, then you're in a better place to get what you want. It gives you more opportunities. So, but whether that's right, I don't know. But
no, it's definitely right. Yeah, 100%. It's yeah.
But yeah, I'm really envious of the way that the education system is now, because there's so much more available than there was when I was doing it.
Yeah.
And but equally, there's a lot of opportunity to get out and about and show what you can do on social media as well, that you couldn't do back in the day. And before I forget, it's Pete Ray Biggin that I was talking about 2 hours ago. Yeah. Cool. Sweet
drummer as well. Yeah.
Sorry, but yeah, it was. He was also
Pete Riley. Pete Riley is a good drummer as well.
Is he the lefty?
Yeah. He's got loads of nice Ferraris as well.
Has he?
He's big into his cars. He's
yeah.
It's brilliant.
That's cool. Okay, well, I will see you at some other point at the shop, hopefully, or whatever or the next Christmas party. If we don't,
I'll probably actually pop in on Saturday maybe and see you, because I'm actually doing an event in ACM on Saturday. So I'll.
Are you? Is this one to promote? Is it a ticket sales one, or?
No, it's only for the ACM students, but it's working in conjunction with Andertons. So I'm going to be attending that to show face and.
Oh, nice.
Which is good. So I'll be there, and I'll probably pop into the shop as well after, just to say hello.
Yeah, cool. And don't forget, if you're an ACM student, you get a discount at Andertons.
That's it, yeah.
Whether you're at London campus or Guildford campus and Birmingham.
Yeah.
Yeah. But if you're at Birmingham, chances are you might not be passing. Although people do come from all over, don't they?
Yeah.
Yeah, they do come from all over. Okay, right. Well, thank you very much, mate. And hopefully I haven't taken up too much of your time.
No, well, we've been rambling for a long little while here, haven't we?
We have been rambling for a little while.
That was nice, mate. It's nice to speak to you about things. Yeah, it's good. Well, thank you very much for having me, man.
No problem. Thank you very much.
Cheers, mate.
Good night.